good morning. Many thanks for joining us this morning. I'm so happy that it is finally raining in the country, in most parts of the country. And the interesting part is, I was talking to someone in Lodwar yesterday, and the good news is that in Lodwar too, it's also raining. And it's very interesting. Yesterday, it was very chilly in the morning. We have rains everywhere at 19 degrees, not 19 degrees Celsius, but we had precipitation all over the country in the morning. And today is quite a good morning because it's cool, hakuna vumbi, and everything is flowing just fine. Traffic is all fine. The weather is conducive for all of us. Like, it was raining, but hakuna baridi, you know. It's such an interesting moment. Tulikuwa tumechoshwa na jua. Everyone was complaining. And there's something interesting that I saw someone say that watu wa Futsubishi, we're always in problem. First, kuna jua kali, and then ikiisha mvua. And you know, you're walking all over with umbrellas, and in corridors of your workplace, you have umbrellas packed there. Watu wa siwezi jenga, siwezi nunua gari kabla nijenge. It's a sad, always sad day. But for those who are planting, for those who it's planting seasons, what Trans Nzoia, Western, the Rift Valley, it's a good day because seeds are being distributed, people are tilling the land, people are planting, it's planting season, and everyone is happy. So in one way or another, we are all happy, hakuna jua, we're all happy that there will be food eventually, despite the fact that the weatherman says this is just a short period where we're having rains, and then itapotea towards Thursday, and then irudi tena towards the end of the weekend. So wale watu ambao you're planning to wash your clothes, you have Friday, Saturday to do that. You know, the good thing about the technology is that we can always have accurate weather patterns. So it's a very good morning, and I'm so happy that you're choosing us this morning to inform you in everything business, everything that is shaping your world in terms of politics, business, in terms of the social networks that you're having. It's very interesting. For those who are following me, yesterday I promised through the social media platforms that this is a day when we shall be having a discussion on the impact of strategic human capital initiatives. And I said that this is a day, if you're someone who is young in your career, you're looking for opportunities, or you're looking for avenues that will give you connection to opportunities to build your career, this is a day for you, because in studio today we are joined by the very able group from ICE, that is Innovation Center of Excellence. And just a quick preview before I introduce to you who the guests are. On Thursday last week, the 6th of March 2025, here in Kenyatta University, we had a chief guest, Rebecca Miano, Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, and there was a launch of a project or an initiative that is to help students across the country, not just students, but the youths across the country get employment opportunities. And through this initiative, there were several, let me get this straight so that I can give you the right information. Before mwanze kusema KUTV, we tell lies. Now, it was during the launch of Human Capital Initiatives for Eastern Africa. This is a program. This program offers internships to students. This program offers internships to students in the US. There is also Erasmus Plus Exchange Program. It promotes global mobility. There's also IATA Authorized Training Center. This introduces world-class training in the world-class training in the tourism sector. And then there is mapping of tourism products and experiences. This enhances destination development in Eastern Africa. Not forgetting to mention the Innovation Center of Excellence, which we are having representatives today in studio, will be talking to us about how they benefited from the program, how it helped shape their careers, and why it is important for you back at home to get into the program. And just so you know, this program is free. The mode of training is online through Zoom and the virtual interactions. There is also the physical interaction based on your center, but it is free. and after that there is graduation. And the good thing about it is the intense opportunities that it offers you, and whether you're a journalist, whether you're a graphic designer, whether you're a video editor, mention them in all these careers, whether you're an entrepreneur, it caters for everyone. And in studio this morning, we'll be joined by Dan Donald Ondieki, Lead Innovation Center for Excellence, Kenyatta University. He's quite an interesting gentleman who will be joining us in studio, having graduated as a fitness coach, and in that field, and also being mentored as an entrepreneur. That is something interesting that we'll be having this morning. Also in studio, we'll be joined by Jacqueline Wairimu Matu, who is a tech enthusiast, a business innovator, and a youth advocate from Jomo Kenyatta University. So you see, it's not just for Kenyatta University, it cuts across all universities across the country and in Eastern Africa. So it's a very interesting discussion that we'll be having this morning. And also, for our technical questions that we'll be having on the role or the drive towards the formation of this initiative, we will be joined by the CEO of Innovation Center of Excellence this morning on the program. It is a full coverage. You have policymakers of the initiative, you have beneficiaries of the initiative joining us this morning on the same discussion. So I didn't lie to you when I was telling you that if you're looking for opportunities, or if you're looking for connections for opportunities, this is a day for you to join us. Also this morning, we'll be having a discussion on a newspaper review. And in studio today, we'll be joined by Collins Mawira, who is a leader, a youth chair, Meru County, who's the youth chair, Meru County. And also we'll be joined by the one and only Ojwang Mariam for a very interesting discussion on the state of our nation, and that is on newspaper review. And just a quick run through of what is on our newspapers this morning. We begin with the Business Daily, and they have the headline this morning is RBA, that is Retirement Benefits Authority, to block under 50s from pension saving. You've heard of a situation where the old people in the society want to receive their retirement benefits, but it's either too little or not there. Now this is an interesting discussion that we'll be having this morning, where the Retirement Benefits Authority is now blocking. If you are less than 50 years, you will be blocked from receiving your pensions for you to get tangible pension once you retire. And it will also encourage people to retire. You know, sometimes you want to retire, but when you look at your pension, haiwezi kusaidia. So most people push their age backward, they backdate their age to keep them in the working spaces. And at that time, we get that most of them are not what do I call this word? They're not that competent. So it is something that we'll be looking at this morning. Also on the Business Daily, we have taxes from beer, fuel, car, cosmetics, sells flat in half a year. Like we have been complaining in the country that the cost of living is high, but you see beer, fuel, car, cosmetics, this is an industry that is not shaken. The taxes are flat, they have maintained. They were neither affected by COVID-19. So if you're thinking of a business, you know what I'm saying, you can think of those directions. And on the Daily Nation, the biggest headline we have there is civil servants reject SHA deal. This is something that has been going on in the country. The government saying it's working, civil servants saying it's not working. Last week we had a strike on the clinical officers. They paraded themselves on Afia House, demanding something to be done on the Social Health Authority. But at the moment, let's just hope that something will be done. And if you look at the Daily Nation, it's quite, there's a lot going on the front page, because also on the same newspaper, we have Unity Test, Raila men skip Ruto's tour of Nairobi. We are aware that President William Ruto has begun his tour in Nairobi region. It's a 5-day tour through different regions of Nairobi. Should we call it a campaign or should we call it a development tour? That is on you to decide. But the president is on a 5-day tour. Today is the second day, and this comes a few days, actually 3 days after the signing of a working agreement with ODM, and we see the leaders boycott the meeting. So I don't know if they will be joining him in the coming meetings, but as we speak right now, on the meeting yesterday, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino, and Westland MP Timothy Wanyonyi significantly were absent from Ruto's meeting, despite him popularizing the engagement with the ODM leader Raila Odinga. At the same time, we have alcohol, drugs, and friendly fire. Questions continue to mount on why officers are armed with service-issue weapons when off-duty and drinking in bars. For those who are night people, you understand this so much because there's been an increase of cases where there are shootouts in clubs or in homesteads because of officers having their weapons with them at home. And it also raises questions on their mental health, the state of their mental health. Because, you know, if someone just chooses chaos anyhowly, it talks a lot about their mental health. So are our officers safe? Those who are supposed to protect us, are they safe mentally for them to be at a position where they can be able to protect us? That is on the Daily Nation. And on the Standard have been having very, should I call it crazy, headlines. But today there is finally, at last, a positive headline. The headline is Magnificent Duo. And this is at a time when independent institutions are weakened and Parliament appears increasingly aligned with the Executive. Auditor General Nancy Gedungu and Control of Budget Margaret Nyakongo have remained unwavering public watchdogs. This is with regard to the report that was released on government spending and corruption in the counties and everything. But we have very many opinions coming out. There are those who are saying that the duo is funded by the opposition. There are those who are saying that the report is not valid until the Parliament approves it. You know who I'm talking about. And there are those who are lauding the move, especially a majority of Kenyans who are like, at least, hata kama baba ametuacha, at least we have someone who is looking at our interests. So that is the discussion that we'll be having on the Standard. And also still on the Standard, we have Kisii leaders divided over Raila's heckling. You are aware that a day before yesterday, Raila Odinga was in Kisii for the launch of a sponsorship of Shabana FC, and we had the fans walk out of him on the stadium. And you know, Onyonka said that he does not play such politics. He's not responsible for it. So there is a division on in Kisii. Kisii leaders are divided on how to support Raila Odinga. There are those who want to support Matiang'i and Maraga, and there are those who are in government. So it's quite a tussle between Kisii leaders. You know, Kisii was once Raila's backyard, but as we speak right now, that is not clear. We cannot tell for sure what is happening in Kisii and if he still has a grip on the Kisii region. And also how sanctuaries could hurt the shilling. That is also another discussion we will be having this morning on the newspaper review. Now that's just a brief of what we are going to have this morning. It's a packed discussion that we really hope that you find time to join us. And if you miss, this show is live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can also follow us there. If you're leaving the house and you feel like you cannot go with your TV, you can follow us on YouTube as well. Now this time, let's take a look at what is happening on the roads and the weather. right, now, what is the weather of where you are? How are you feeling? How is the temperatures? Is it raining? Are you in your duvet, or is everything just moving on swiftly as you expected? This morning, let's begin with we are used to beginning with Nairobi. So today we are beginning with Lodwar. And right now it is 24 degrees Celsius. It feels like 26 degrees Celsius. And warming is expected over the next 4 days. I mentioned earlier that the weatherman says that this was just a wave of rainfall. It will stop for a little while and then proceed towards the end of the weekend. And there are no signs of rainfall in precipitation. They're actually expecting a precipitation of 0.8 millimeters. That is 10%. That is from now to 1 p.m. The possibility of rainfall is at 10%. And moving on to Mombasa, let's take a look at Mombasa. It is 28 degrees Celsius. It feels like 32 degrees Celsius, while people are saying that we have rainfall all over the country. In Mombasa, it is 32 degrees. It feels like 32 degrees Celsius, and 10% chances of having rainfall. That is 3.6 millimeters. And at around 1 p.m., there is a 20% chances of receiving rainfall. That is in Mombasa. And now in Nairobi, I'll take a look at what is happening in Nairobi. So in Nairobi, it is now 18 degrees Celsius, feels like it. On precipitation, there is a 10% chances of rainfall from now until 11 a.m. But from 1 p.m., there is a 40% chance of rainfall in Nairobi. And Nairobi is quite an interesting city because we never learn. If we take a look at last year, when the weatherman says that there will be El Nino, everyone was like, just like what was happening in the old times and the Bible, when Noah was being told that build an ark, and everyone was saying that nothing like that can ever happen. Just the same thing that happened with us last year. The weatherman was saying there will be El Nino, so prepare, and everyone was like, no, that cannot happen. And then it happened. Everywhere was flooding. Thinking that we learned from the experience, apparently we didn't. So yesterday's rain, just by raining kidogo tu ikashtua tu kidogo, we have instances where houses are in water. Our drainage system, we realize that it's not functional, though most of them are made, but we need to do more, because today we are also expecting rainfall 3.8 millimeters, which is quite lower compared to yesterday. Yesterday it was at 19 millimeters. So today it is interesting because it's not that high. And let's take a look at what is happening in the Western. So the weather in Kakamega, let's take a look at Kakamega. It's 18 degrees Celsius, just like Nairobi. It feels like it. And with Kakamega, chances of precipitation, highs of 10% chances, and that is at 1.5 millimeters. So that is Kakamega, the Western region. So it was raining before, just like I said, inaenda ikipungua. Then towards the end of the weekend, we'll be expecting more rains. So if you're planting, this is your time to plant. If you're having your land tilled, this is your time to make sure that you get the full benefit, because at this time, before the rains disappear again, mimea yako itakuwa ishachipuka kutoka kwa udongo. So let's take a look at what is happening on the roads. That is the traffic situation in Nairobi. Now, coming to Thika Road in the morning today, because it was not raining, everything was moving on swiftly, and which is quite interesting, because right now, if I look at the map as we speak right now, all roads leading to town looks good. Thika Road looks good today, apart from TRM towards what do we call this place? Allsops. It is not that red, so that means it's moving. It's interesting because today almost all roads are moving on swiftly. All inlets towards town, all roads leading to town are looking well. Outer Ring Road, Makadara, those people coming from Donholm, the road looks good. Those who are using expressway, Nairobi Expressway looks good. On Langata Road, there is a little bit of red over there, but it's moving because it's orange. You know, when it's red, it's thick traffic, but when it's orange, yellow, green, that means the roads are good this morning. This is a good day, actually, because all roads leading to town, traffic is actually moving. So it's a good day because you'll get to work early. It's not that hot, hakuna vumbi. The weather is chilly, but not that cold that freezes you. So it's a good day. And keep interacting with us as you get to work, as you get to the offices. Keep interacting with us. Keep sending those questions because of the discussions that we are having this morning on why it is important to have initiatives that helps you connect with those who have made it before you. And if you're having youth or friends who are seeking opportunities, this is your time to connect them before we begin this discussion after this short break that we are having right now.
My name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Naam, ungana nami ua lako linalonukia na kuvutia waridi tamu katika mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Katika toleo hili la Nairobi basi tarajia mambo makubwa sana. Kutakuwa na vyakula vya kipwani kama vile shawarma. Watu hawajui shawarma nini? Kuna biriani, kuna vyakula ambavyo vimepikwa na vikasukwa kwa kutumia nazi. Bila kusahau mazungumzo ya kusisimua na wataalamu waliobobea kwa mambo ya ndoa, mambo ya Uswahili basi, mambo ya mashairi.
Jamani swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Kosi kupata tarabu, chakacha, midundiko. Yani hapo ni pale ambapo viuno vinazungushwa kisawasawa na kubiringishwa ni kana kwamba havina mfupa kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Ukiwa nami waridi tamu, usikose matamu.
Was 5, and then my mother abandoned me when I was 16, so I was a street child and had to figure out very quickly how to make money, how to be employed. And several years later, I'm the CEO of over 7 global companies. So I understand, thank you. So I understand the importance of employment, and with unemployment, there's things that are not identifiable and measurable. Some of those things are despair, hopelessness, broken families, if people get divorces or can't support their families. There's lots of things that happen with unemployment. And according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the unemployment rate for people under 30 years old is over 37%. And that's really dangerous because that's a double-digit number, whereas the national unemployment rate is only a single-digit number and very low. So the people that are going to run our country, the people who are going to support the families, the people who are going to make a difference in our communities and our country and our region, employment is really critical to that success. And yes, employment means income, it means providing food on the table, but more importantly, it's also the future of families, futures of communities, futures of the economy. And that, I think, is really important to understand because it's not just a statistic. It's not just a number. It's not just we have people who are unemployed, but it's also the quality of life that employment brings. And with employment, besides those things that I just mentioned, the other thing that's really important to employment is how do we create that and what does that mean? And so with this initiative here, which we're calling the Kenya Employment Initiative, instead of people leaving their families and leaving their communities to potentially work overseas or in other areas of Africa, we can save families, in my opinion. We can save them, we can keep them together, we can bring employment here. And what the employment that we're bringing here is global corporations, small and big. We're talking, whether it's a one-person company or a billion-dollar US company, we're bringing that here to students. We're giving them resources such as computer skills, we're giving them paid training, we're giving them the opportunity to be successful, not only in resources and skills and experience for when they graduate, but again, how the best thing to do, I mean, it's hard to graduate and then not have a job, right? I think even people my age remember that period of time where what does it mean after you graduate? And we all expect to be employed, but what are the steps to get you employed? And I think with this initiative, the purpose is that you're already experienced and paid and have hands-on training working with global companies, meaning workflows, meaning standard operating procedures, meaning all of the communication, you know, how to send an email, all the way to what kind of information to send. These little things, which sometimes those are really called soft skills, it's hard to learn unless you're actually doing it. For example, if you're learning to drive, you can read all the manuals you want, but actually driving is different, right? How the hand feels on the steering wheel, or how quickly you respond when you have to press the brake. But there's things about hands-on training that really make a difference to the actual competency of the skills you're going to learn and apply, and most importantly, feel comfortable and confident, because confidence is not something that comes easy for us naturally, I don't think. Even with all of the companies that I work and I support, multi-billion-dollar companies who ask me and call me on the phone and ask them for me to help them, there are times that, you know, there's always going to be somebody smarter than you. There's always going to be somebody who knows more than you. There's always going to be somebody who thinks they're better than you. But the confidence also comes with employment and the training. And if there's nothing else besides the employment, it's how do we bring confidence to our youth and our students, where they can show up and say, yes, I'm actually good at this. Yes, I can make a difference. Yes, I can make a difference for you, because it's not just about what you bring to the table, but it's showing people how you can benefit them. I mean, you can be qualified, but if you can't communicate that information, it's going to be really hard for people to understand you and to say yes to you, unless you have the skills to communicate that information. So again, this is not just employment, although that's really critical. It's all of these other things that are critical to success for our children and our students and the country. And so I think I covered all the things I wanted to cover, actually. I got the statistics, and so here's the thing with the initiative. So we actually already we're hiring 10 students as soon as possible, hopefully this week. We have 16 jobs, positions available, not just one for each job, but multiple jobs for each of the 16 roles. And we already have 5 US companies waiting to say yes. So this is like starting now. And I'm so excited because what this means is not only what we've talked about, Dr. Esther and I, is we really want to put Kenya on the map, on the global map, through Kenyatta University to bring employment and skills and resources and confidence to the whole continent of Africa, starting and through Kenyatta University, which I'm so blessed and thrilled to share with you guys. And I think there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, so we have the 5 US companies, but this will be international. This will be Spain, it'll be Paris. I have companies already in Europe who want to hire Kenyan employment. And the reason that we're bringing these Kenyan, it's not just for our country and I call you us because I'm here so much and this is my second home, but it's more than just bringing employment again to the people that we love and the communities that we love and the country that we love. But it's also what this does for them. It makes other companies competitive in the global landscape. So it's a win-win situation. And so what that means is, as companies are trying to grow and they don't know, growing a company is challenging because you don't know necessarily where to put the money or where to invest in your company. And so sometimes progress on growth is really slow. So my background is in finance and economics and business development. And so when a company doesn't know how to grow well, it really helps them to have resources and support that fit their budget. And so we're paying students and Kenyan, not only Kenyatta University students, but eventually the broader Kenya employment area is that we're paying fair market rates. We're not trying to underpay people. We want everybody to win. And those rates here are obviously not the same as in other countries. So they benefit because they get to grow their businesses, and when they grow, that means they get to employ more people. And that's just going to help everybody. So the goal of this, yes, is employment. And yes, again, it's to build our economy and our community and our infrastructure and our country and our region, but to affect our personal life.
Really a privilege to be part of this remarkable occasion where we celebrate not only the launch of key strategic initiatives, but also the commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders and innovators. As Kenyatta University, we take immense pride in fostering a culture of research, innovation, and entrepreneurship, pillars that are crucial in shaping a competitive and future-ready workforce. Today, as we witness the launch of the Top Talent Initiative and other initiatives, we reaffirm our commitment to bridging academia with industry. These programs align seamlessly with our mission to equip young professionals with knowledge, skills, and global exposure necessary to thrive in an ever-evolving world. Through strategic partnerships, collaborative research, and innovation-driven learning, Kenyatta University remains steadfast in its pursuit of becoming a research-intensive institution. We are dedicated to fostering an ecosystem where students and faculty can explore, create, and implement solutions that have a lasting impact on our country, region, and beyond. With that, I thank our partners, the Top Talent Initiative, the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, the East African Future Leaders Challenge, and all the other collaborators for their instrumental role in shaping the next generation of trailblazers. Let us continue working together to drive transformative change. And now, it's my pleasure to invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Washeke Wanjohi, to address you. Please join me in welcoming her. Thank you.
Welcome back. Now, what was happening on your screen was the launch of the initiative that is to help youths across the country connect them to employment opportunities. We'll listen to Kenyatta University's Vice Chancellor Osheke Wanjohi later on, but right now, I am joined by the guest in studio who I promised you earlier of a very interesting discussion. These are beneficiaries of the program. They are into the program. This is the first cohort, and they're in their 6th month. The course takes a total of 9 months. So they're in the 6 months in training, and right now they're with me in studio, Dan Donald Ondieki. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. And Jacqueline Wairimu Matu. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I'll begin by you, Jacqueline. How's your experience been like? How is your morning? How are you doing this morning?
Greetings everyone. My name is Jacqueline Wairimu Matu, and my morning so far is amazing. I am very excited to be here, and I can't wait on the conversation that we are about to have right now.
If you were to describe yourself, Jacqueline, in a minute, how would you describe yourself?
I will describe myself as a self-driven individual, a business consultant, a business-minded individual, and a go-getter as well.
Dan, how are you this morning?
Actually, I'm fine this morning, and actually I'm excited to be in this show this morning. So, yeah.
If you were to describe, just the same question that Jacqueline answered, if you were to describe yourself in a minute, how would you describe yourself?
So, to describe myself, actually, I'm a transformational and a servant leader. Besides that, actually, I'm a fitness coach, adventure and recreation coordinator. Besides that, actually, I'm also an athlete recruiter for the same. And lastly, actually, I'll not say a go-getter, because I'll say actually I'm somebody actually who wants to go against my means. Actually, I'm a person that actually wants to strive so hard actually to surpass the normal means. So yeah, thank you.
You have that zeal.
Urge, yeah, that zeal.
Yeah,
thank you.
Very interesting. Now today, you're all beneficiaries of Innovation Center for Excellence. This has been a journey from what we've been talking before we entered live. This has been a journey for you for the last 6 months. So inside the program, this morning we are talking about the impact of Strategic Human Capital Initiative. So this is a program that brings youths together. So far for you, Dan, how has it been like for you for the past 6 months that you've been in the program?
So a correction on the beat. So actually, we have actually 2 semesters on the same. It's a 9-week program. So actually, we are through with the first semester. So actually, it's supposed to be like a 3-month actually program. So the first semester, it has been so much impactful to me. I started the program first. Actually, I got the program from a link in KU. That's when actually I registered as a student. From then actually that was actually early May last year. So that's actually when I started the program actually, and it has been impactful in this way actually, because when actually I was a student, I was aspiring to actually get only a job, but when doing the program, we are able to actually be we were able to be taught actually a concept of cash flow quadrant that actually challenged me to be able to run actually from an employee that actually owns a job, actually who is actually put on a job, to a self-employment, normally known as an entrepreneur, who actually owns a business, and then actually
what business do you own?
So for me, actually, I don't own a business, but actually I have a venture that is Dakar Fitness and Adventure. So this is a program that actually entails personalized training, and also I also organize for corporate wellness. Besides that, I also organize actually for adventure and hikes. That actually is same of the sort of it. Actually, the cash flow quadrant is being a business owner, and the last of it is being an investor. So in the program, you're able to be taught on the different pillars of job marketing. That is actually the employee, entrepreneur, the investor and the business owner. So it gives you rigorous and perspective to be able to dwell in the job market, because in the market right now, actually, as we're speaking, we have a lot of gap in employment. So besides being unemployed, actually it gives you another perspective that actually you can be able to create your own job, not actually depending on
someone to employ.
Yeah, someone to employ, or actually waiting for the government actually to give you a job. So actually it has been so much impactful. I cannot actually condone actually to say that it's been so much impactful for me, because getting from being a student, graduating, and now actually I've been actually as now actually I'm working as a fitness coach. I'm actually have also my own venture of that actually I'm owning, that is actually the Cal Fitness Adventure. So thank you.
So when you joined, you said you joined last year.
Yeah.
You were in which year of your studies in campus?
So actually I was in my last year, 4.2. I was actually awaiting now my graduation in December.
Okay, interesting. Now Jacqueline, how has the first semester been like for you?
The first semester has been amazing. As you can see, I have been able to associate with very like-minded individuals like Dan over here. I have been able to associate with people like Dr. Richardson. I have been able to associate with people like Dr. Esther Monyiri, who has been able to give me this opportunity, especially with me being a Jomo Kenyatta University student. So I will say that the first semester has been really great. It has been more than I actually expected. It has taught me a lot, especially on what he said about the cash flow quadrant, which states that we should try to be on the right side of the cash flow quadrant as much as possible. This has also helped me shift my mindset into a more entrepreneurial kind of mindset, and it has enabled me to kind of shift my mindset as well from just a traditional career path seeking person, or dwelling on employment and self-employment. This has also helped me to strive to become a business owner and investor as well.
At the moment, when you joined your first semester, at what were you in your studies?
I was in second year.
Interesting. So how do you balance between the classes and the classes that you're studying on for your degree and the classes, ICE classes?
Actually, through Dr. Crystal Richardson, ICE has been a very flexible kind of project, because even students and working class people can be able to attend the project. We first agreed on what time will be flexible for us, and we all agreed that we could be having the program from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Tuesday, and it has been a success because people were able to join the classes and learn.
At the moment, have you like developed a business or a business idea or concept at the moment?
Yes, actually, through element 10, which is a principle that states that we should strive to have up to 10 sources of income, I have been able to strive to get different sources of income through beauty, fashion, and content creation. Also, I have started my own side hustle at home, where I try to look for job opportunities at my community. So yeah, I will say that ICE has really helped me to strive to become an innovator and a business owner as well.
Interesting. Now Dan, let's get back to you. I understand that ICE, through the different projects that it has, it helps connect the students who are part of the project with potential employers, with customers and all that. How has that been beneficial to you, and in what way?
So first of all, actually, it has been beneficial. I give out actually my gratitude to our founder, Dr. Crystal Richardson. In the same, actually, I've been able to get a lot of mentorship in the same, because for me, actually, I have a background in sports and recreation management. So from that, actually, we had a guidance on how to be able to get internship, and we were given actually a good guidance on communication skills, how to set up a proposal, how to set up a project, and how actually to be an innovator actually in a workforce environment. So actually, at the end of the semester, being the lead of actually the ICE, we have a lot of opportunities actually. We are supposed actually to exhaust. So there are a lot of internship and virtual internship from the US that actually are available. So at the end of the course, actually, we actually say that we'll reap the benefits actually from the studies and the innovation concept that actually we learned. So yeah.
Interesting. Now, as the leader of ICE at Kenyatta University, how has the program shaped your leadership skills, your communication skills, generally, how you manage people? How has it shaped you at the moment?
So actually, as a leader for ICE, actually, I give my gratitude actually to Dr. Esther Munyiri and Dr. Adelaide Kwamboka. So actually, KU actually being the hub of the human capital strategy innovative, because actually it was launched on the Thursday. As a leader, I've been able now actually to be able to, it has shaped my transformational and servant actually leadership skills, because being a leader actually I have to work actually with students and also the other side of actually the working class that have graduated from students to the employment status. So being a leader, I've been able to get immense actually skills because you need to be diverse, you need to be inclusive, to be able to accommodate the both parties. And another thing that actually has bred me actually to become actually who I am today is actually learning how to get actually good communication skills, and also time management also. Because on the same actually the program actually it actually sculptures you to be a leader, and actually somebody actually that will be able to transverse the challenging job market in Kenya right now. So it has been so impactful to me. So thank you.
You've talked of interpersonal skills when you're interacting with other students. So for you, Jacqueline, what skills have you developed in terms of leadership and communication, interacting with your peers during the sessions and interacting with your mentors? What skill do you consider the most effective that you've gained so far?
So the most effective skills that I have gained so far are being a problem solver, first of all. ICE has shaped me to be able to understand and discover certain areas which need my expertise in problem solving. Also, ICE has enabled me to be to monetize different business opportunities and transform them into financial opportunities as well. So ICE has really shaped my skills as a business innovator, and I'm really appreciative of that.
So how have you monetized the skills you've learned? You know, there's a lot of it, leadership, problem solving, interpersonal skills as you interact with others, entrepreneurship. How has monetization been like for you? Has it been easy for you? Has it been having setbacks? How has it been like for you?
It has had a couple of setbacks, but we still keep pushing because education is key, exposure is more. So through that, I kind of try to focus more on the goal and not letting myself get held back. So ICE has also enabled me to look at the end of the tunnel, kinda, sort of thing.
At the end of the
light at the end of the tunnel. So I will say that ICE has really impacted me positively, and I am truly not the same as before I started the program.
You've seen yourself having made
Growth,
strides in terms of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Dan, for you, how has monetization been like for you in terms of handling challenges in building your company, in leading the group that you're having right now? How has it been like for you managing these challenges?
So actually, it has been a great actually experience. So ICE actually has taught me how to make my passion generate wealth or generate money. So when you talk about monetization, is actually making an asset actually to become profit, to bring you actually profit. So for me actually, I had a passion for fitness and adventure. So actually with ICE, I was able to monetize my love for passion. That actually I monetize actually by being a fitness coach. I'm a certified actually fitness instructor. And also my passion for adventure drove me actually to start my own company, Dakar Fitness and Adventure. So Dakar Fitness and Adventure, actually the motive was to promote domestic tourism. And in addition to that, actually by promoting the domestic tourism was to also promote actually active lifestyle through wellness. So we usually go for hikes different places from Ngong, going to Longonot. And actually with the idea of ICE, I was able to now monetize my love for adventure, and I was able to start my own company, Dakar Fitness and Adventure. Yeah, so thank you.
Now, for many youths, you all began this when you were still in school, in campus. I understand you're in 4.2, you're in second year. So there is a very major challenge when it comes to youth starting up their businesses, and that is when it comes to financing. Okay, there is the problem of having knowledge and expertise on how to run a business, on how to develop your idea into something that can be funded or something that can receive finance. So for you, has ICE helped you overcome this financial barrier? I'll begin with you then.
So actually for me, yeah, ICE has been able to actually help me overcome this. So one thing actually that the youth actually are not aware is when you want to tackle a problem, actually you don't need even the financial background or financial even background. So actually you just need a problem and an idea. When actually you have both, when you start the idea or the venture, on the way, actually you get implementive ideas on how actually to tackle the problem. So actually for me, when starting Dakar Fitness and Adventure, I actually did not have any financial background, but actually I had the idea of I want to take people to a certain destination, or actually I want to take them to certain hike. So I had to come up with an idea. So the hike was purposely actually to promote active lifestyle. So I actually train these fitness clients. So I took this opportunity to encounter the clients and tell them that actually I have this venture. So I want to take you to this place, and from that actually you'll gain you'll be able to actually be promote actually your active lifestyle in the same. So in the go, actually we were able to I was able to hit two actually I'll put it this way, hit the stone actually hitting two birds with
hitting two birds with one stone.
That's actually the thing that I was actually looking for in the moment. So what I actually wanted to say is that ICE actually gives you a broad perspective of how you can be able to tackle a problem without the money or actually with the funding. So in addition to that, actually we are being taught actually how to monetize, and actually how to there's something called IF, intellectual property, IP. So actually we are being taught actually how to put your name, your company actually under your name. So it gives you the two sides of the coin, how to monetize it actually with the money and actually without the money.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting. Now for you, Jacqueline, how did you handle, you mentioned a number of line of businesses that you're into, entrepreneurship, you mentioned that there's a business you're doing at home. So how has ICE helped you overcome the financial barriers that most youths face when beginning a business?
So as you all know, your network is your net worth. Through Dr. Crystal Richardson, she has taught me to be able to form meaningful networks with meaningful individuals. And through ICE, I have been able to get in contact with professional collaborators and professional people who have been able to help me open more opportunities for myself. And through ICE, I have also been able to kind of figure out or look for certain opportunities that will be able to fund my businesses, and also look for ideas that necessarily might not require a financial capital, but in the long run, I have also been able to get certain investors who have been able to push me forward in my business.
So it has been a drive from you to get investors, a drive from you seeking opportunities that help you get into business even without the funding?
Yes, yes.
Okay, very, very, very interesting. Now, for upcoming youths in the country, what do you consider to be their biggest barrier in achieving their dreams?
I think what I would consider being the biggest barrier in achieving their dreams is the lack of self-drive, first of all. Just because you do not have, you need to start doing it scared. You need to start doing it with whatever little resource that you have. So for the youths out there, I want this to be your wake-up call. If you're aspiring to start something, if you're aspiring to form that company or get that opportunity, it's high time that you do it, because if you wait, the time will never be right. You need to do it. Sorry, you need to do it scared. So I think that will be my advice to them.
If you want to do it, just do it. Don't mind about the challenges that you're having. Like, don't focus on the barrier, focus on your goal.
Yeah, just go for it.
Very interesting. Now for you, Dan, what do you consider to be the biggest challenge for youth aspiring for their dreams and then they end up not pursuing it?
Actually, for me, I'll say procrastination. So actually, you need to fake it till you make it. Start small and you will grow big. So for me, actually, what I want to tell the youth, if you have an idea, if you have something that actually you have in mind, start actually small and you'll find your way actually being big in the end. Another thing actually is to tell the youth actually, because in the market actually, we are actually full of wrath because there's a lot of unemployment. So it's time actually to build our creativity, to be able to harness our future. Because when you actually be reliant on the government or actually on the job spaces, they are actually not enough. Every year actually we have a lot of, we have thousands and thousands of actually graduates that actually are going into the market. And actually we have limited actually job spaces. This is a time for us actually to be the innovators and actually get into actually roll our sleeves and actually get into the innovative hub and be able to actually to create our jobs. And I guess in the future I will try and tackle the issue. And that actually was spearheaded by the launch by the Kenya Employment Initiative that actually was done in KU. This actually, there were 7 actually initiatives that actually were done, and ICE is among them. ICE is a program that actually I want Kenyans and the youth out there actually to join, because actually this actually gives you it gives you actually it spearheads you into the market world, into the job market. Actually you're able to actually get the incentive actually earlier. So that you are able to actually get the competitive advantage against the others. So actually I want to urge the youths and students around around Kenya. This is the first cohort ending at around April. So in the second cohort, you're all welcome actually to join ICE and actually join the innovative hub and bring a change to the chaos and problem that actually been a menace to this country, that is called job unemployment. Yeah.
You've really stressed on finding a problem and solving the problem. Now, as we conclude, these are our final remarks. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
For me, actually, I see myself as a great name, actually, Dan Donald, a manager, actually, that actually will be heading a lot of innovative hubs that will promote, actually, fitness and adventure, innovation, actually, employment opportunities to the young people in Kenya. So, actually, my motive, actually, in the next 10 years is actually to help a lot of, actually, the youths to enable them get and harness their power of actually creativity to be in the job market, not to rely on the government per se, but actually to rely on their skills, interpersonal skills, creativity, and actually being unique, because actually that's actually what breeds creativity, being unique in your own way. So thank you.
Being unique.
Yeah.
Now for you, Jacqueline, Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years, I see myself as a well-established business person, businesswoman. I see myself as a business analyst, strategist, and consultant. I aspire to be the person that people call when something isn't right in their business. So currently, I am learning as much as I possibly can to be the person that comes to save your business. So that's where I see myself in the next 10 years.
Interesting. You and saying knowledge is power, and you want to get that power.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, Dan says that you need to get a problem and solve the problem, avoid procrastination. And Jacqueline says that knowledge is power. Now, that is on the launch this morning. Just a quick run through of the feedback that you're having. We have Maisha Poa saying, proud of the team. And Kiriri says, loving the energy. The content is amazing. So people are really happy that you are with us on the show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we are going to take a very short break right here on the show. And after this break, we'll be having that speech by Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor that we just cut it before we got into the show. We'll be having that. And after that, we'll be joined by Dr. Juma Nashon, who is a distinguished author, international speaker, and leadership mentor with a passion for building institutions and empowering human capital. And he's a CEO of the Global Partners. And this is, at that point, we'll be having questions, or we'll be having a discussion on the structural role of this initiative that creates jobs for young Kenyans and that creates opportunities for young Kenyans. So stay tuned for that discussion after the break.
International at Top Talent Initiative, members of the management, Kenyatta University management present in this meeting, Dr. Esther Munyiri, the Director, Global Tourism, Resilience and Crisis Management Center, distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. I first of all want to register my apologies for having not been available on time to receive our chief guest. I think the communication that came to my office, I think you were too close, because the agreement was as soon as they get to know where you are at, then they'll alert me in good time so that I can leave my office. But that notwithstanding, my apologies. We don't do that in this university. So my sincere apologies for that. I also want to take this opportunity to really, on behalf of the council of this university, the management and the Senate and the entire university community, to warmly welcome you all to Kenyatta University today as we celebrate a significant milestone in our collective efforts to shape the future of human capital development in Eastern Africa. And you know, developing quality human capital is actually our core mandate as a university. And also say that as we do that, I want to acknowledge the entertainers this morning. And because not many of you may know, these are our students. These are my students in this university. And they're not doing music as their discipline or their area of specialization. They're in very, very many other disciplines. But because in this university we ensure that we give every student an opportunity to exploit their potential and to exploit every opportunity that we provide in this university during their 4-year, 5-year, 6-year stay with us, and also for their postgraduate studies. This is why our dedicated staff picks this, who have shown interest in music and dance, and actually it makes their life so enriched in this campus. And our chief guests, the Raboro dancers, have been invited in many, many forums within this country and outside of the country to actually do the part that they do best, that is entertainment. And so because you are the minister, the CS in charge of tourism and wildlife, and we will welcome all the opportunities that will be presented to this and many others to actually perform in many of the functions that we have both within and outside of the country. And that will be in line with some of the initiatives that we are actually launching today. I was hoping to get a clap, but they are not here. I know they are not here, but I know this will get to them. So I also wish to take this earliest opportunity to express my very, very sincere appreciation and recognition to the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Honorable Rebecca Meano, for her dedication and the unwavering support towards initiatives that empower the youth and drive sustainable development. I also want to recognize our partners, including Ms. Andy Monet. I was touched by your background, and some of these things are the things that ignite passion and ignite drive to want to change and bring change for the betterment of other people so that others don't have to go through what you went through. So most appreciative. And we are glad as Kenyatta University to be hosting this initiative. And I also want to thank all the other partners who are part of this great initiative that Kenyatta University is willing to host under the Global Tourism and Resilience Center, whose board is chaired by our chief guest, and I serve in that board as a secretary. And so we really want to appreciate you for that. And CS, we do want to recognize that your leadership has continued to pave the way for transformative policies that strengthen human capital in our region. And I would like to say that in the midst of adversity and shortage of resources, it takes a leadership that looks at the other side of the coin to actually remain focused on the goal. So we have taken recognition of that as a university and as a management, and we are very, very proud about what your ministry is doing in this space, and not just within the confines of your ministry, but also within broader mandate of the government of Kenya to serve the people of Kenya effectively. Indeed, as Kenyatta University, we take immense pride in playing a central role in nurturing talent, fostering innovation, and providing a solid foundation for our young people to excel in their respective fields through offering quality of education and promoting research for sustainable development. And our chief guest, this is exemplified by our being recognized as the premier university in this country. We are now ranked #1 by the Tier 1 ranking body, the Times Higher Education, and also other rankings based on webometrics. We have continued to improve very, very significantly. And our CES, in terms of innovation, we participated in the Kenya Innovation Week, and we emerged the best university in terms of innovation. And it's not just in the area of innovation, in very many other areas, including performing arts. We participated in the just concluded drama festivals, and again, we emerged as the best university. And so there are many other things, so that we are not speaking just based on what we think we are. Others have seen what we are doing. I was in a meeting last week where we are trying to look at how to enhance financing of higher education.
And two things stood out as the different agencies or the sagas presented their data. Kenyatta University, when data was presented by KUTV, was the most preferred university. They had the highest number of applicants in the last academic year. That is 2024-2025. We had 64,000 applicants, students wanting to join our university. And the next university, or the one that was number 2, had only 47,000 applicants, a difference of almost 17,000. That speaks. We didn't tell them, but the statistics are showing. We had the CEO of the National Research Fund also present their data in terms of the universities that have received the most successful grants. They apply, they are vetted, they go through them, and Kenyatta University again emerged as the university that has attracted the largest grants, meaning that our staff are writing very, very competitive grants that are winning. So that is another heart for Kenyatta University. And these things speak volumes. And our CS, so as we therefore launch therefore today's launch is a further testament to our commitment to equipping the next generation with the knowledge, skills, networks necessary to lead in an ever-evolving global landscape. And in this university, I want to say that we value partnerships. We have so far active memorandum of understanding with 430 institutions. And when I say active, we are serious about any memorandum of understanding that I sign, because I sign them with the support of the respective DVCs, depending on whether it's research or whether it's academic, and they are all fully active. And so we do really recognize the role that partnership and collaboration plays in terms of helping us achieve our mandate as a university. We also celebrate the innovativeness of our staff, and we encourage them to be all that we want them to be. And so we have ensured to the best that we can that we have retained a highly motivated staff, because those are the people that actually help us do what we do and help us what we achieve as a university. And thirdly, our CS, we have committed ourselves as a university to pray the Lord of the unique role of universities, because universities have a very, very unique role to play. Not only building and ensuring that we build highly qualified human capital, but also we do research that informs or provides solutions to our challenges and our current problems, but also we want to make sure that whatever we generate in terms of solution, they actually get down to benefiting the community. But we also have a responsibility of supporting the national government in being able to address their needs. And unemployment is one of those challenges that our current government is facing.
Welcome back. Now, this is a very interesting. I had promised you earlier that we'll be having a discussion on the launch with our guest, Dr. Juma. Is right here with us in studio, the CEO GPP, and we're going to have a very interesting discussion. Before, we had students here, and they really were happy to be part of the ICE program, which helps them improve their communication skills, improve their entrepreneurial skills, improve their interpersonal skills, and how they can position themselves in the market and be good business people in the market. That was on the launch with the guests who are beneficiaries. Now, at the moment, we are having Dr. Juma, who is with us in studio this morning. Dr. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sylvia.
Now, from your experience interacting with youths across the country, how has GPP evolved, or how has GPP stood out, excluding others who are in the market trying to lure youths into the organizations? How has GPP stood out?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. And for us to appreciate, GPP is actually Global Partners in Purpose Network, which is actually a consultancy firm. And therefore, we are committed and dedicated in aspects that deal with collaboration and strategic partnership. We build synergies that will bring development and growth. And we are passionate about the young people stepping into their spaces, and more so the global space where GPP operates. So as you've just asked, we have positioned ourselves in the aspect of understanding the exact needs of the youth. And that's why when I was just listening the young people that were here who have been beneficiaries of ICE, I remember, and I want to salute Dr. Crystal from the US, who came and visited Kenya. And one thing I want to say is that it's one thing to visit a place. It's another thing to have the eyes that can see challenges of a place. And beyond that, also able to identify solutions that can meet those challenges. And Dr. Crystal, who is a founder of Live Innovation Global, of course, where ICE is housed, together with other collaborative networks that she works with. When she visited here, and I was the one who had hosted her, we visited several universities, basically, and met several young people, talked to young people in different places, in universities, colleges, churches, and even in the market space. And we were able to see the gap. And Dr. Crystal was quick to identify, ask me, how about this kind of issues? And I think that's when ICE was recommended to be an avenue that is going to empower these young people with a different mindset that can bring out solutions. That's what I can possibly just say in my introductory remarks.
The students who were here before, they were really, especially Dan, it was really hard on finding a problem and looking for solutions to that problem. I think that is a very good flow from the mentor, Dr. Christine.
Sure.
Now, I understand that most of these organizations that come up are targeting women, targeting youths, targeting the vulnerable in the society. Most of them are always driven by profits of engaging in the initiative. So how is it like for ICE, for GPP? How is it like? What pushes you towards wanting to help the youths in the society?
Honestly, from a strategic point of view, GPP together with the partners, including Kenyatta University, which is the key shareholder in this great vision, because were it that Kenyatta University wasn't open to such a kind of human capital development initiatives, I don't think we could be talking about it. Now, just as you have said, most entities look for profit. And that's where they go wrong, allow me to say that, or that's where we go wrong. You know, when you look at the SDGs, you know, the SDG goals, they were addressing a particular root issue, not symptoms like the MDGs. Because the MDGs, the Millennial Development Goals, were simply more of addressing the symptoms that the global environment is facing. But the SDG came and identified the root aspects. And that's where you realize that SDG is pro-youth, pro-women, pro-inequality when you look at them. And that's where now we come. What makes GPP and other partners stand out different? We are not looking for profit. We are looking for empowerment. And where does empowerment begin? Empowerment begins with the individual. These young people have potential, and the potential must be identified and maximized by being given leverage. When you look at a program like ICE, it is given as a scholarship. Why? Because most of our young people may even want to get these skills, but they do not have the money or the fee that could make them access this knowledge or skill. So what happens? They end up missing the opportunity. I've always said, poverty is not necessarily lack of money. It's lack of options. So ICE and other human capital initiatives that are taking place in Kenyatta University are giving these young people options in life beyond the stream and discipline that you have taken. You realize that you are accessing knowledge and skills that are not possibly within your very environment. But then they are going to give you leverage outside, especially for us who are in the market space. So the driving motive for our partners is not specifically the profit, though profit is necessary at the end of it. It should be the outcome of what the capacity and ability has been invested in this particular person. So we're looking at skill development. What talent is this young person having? Can it be managed and be monetized so that the person is in control? Young people have been used as statistics. Sorry to say this. Young people in most countries, especially Africa, have been used as statistics. Eventually, after successfully procuring some funding for the youth projects, as you have just rightly said, these entities ends up corrupting the entire system. And the very people who were used as statistics ends up to be victimized. And that's why you realize that at this particular point, the partners collaborating here with Kenyatta University are keen to give the young people options and not just use them as statistics to amplify the problem that is chewing them up. No. How can we help them solve their problem? No government can really give jobs to everybody. That is clear. No government in the world has succeeded in that.
Interesting. Now, as you've mentioned, that no government can give anyone job opportunity, and the role of these initiatives in helping the youths. There is a need, there's clearly a need for upscaling.
Sure.
So what are the biggest challenges that the initiatives are facing when it comes to upscaling to reach wider audiences, reach more youths, and help them monetize their skills, help them get their feet into the market?
Well, if I may be particular to the youth, the youth face certain challenges that are just youth. For instance, today, Sylvia, when you come out of this particular place in your profession, you may apply jobs in a particular company or in a particular place. But then the requirement for you to be eligible disqualifies you even in the beginning. That's already a challenge the young people are facing, that they do not have the experience. And therefore, because of inadequate or insufficient experience and expertise in whichever aspect, it turns out to be a challenge. But you can see the programs that we are buying for this is already experienced, has a particular skill, and can be given this particular job. So that's one of the challenges the young people specifically face.
What about the organization in terms of upscaling?
Now, when it comes to organization, obviously there are a number of challenges that goes to the legal framework, the governance of some of these particular institutions that are into managing the young people, because some of them, their systems and the bureaucracy may not allow as the outsourcing, in a globalized environment like the one we are in. You need not just a legal framework, but an environment that can allow the exchange of knowledge. And most of the institutions, I think, have, administrative challenges. Well, we thank God for Kenyatta University. I salute the administration for being so open to internationalization aspect, whereby if it were not so open, you could not get such a programs that are coming in. 7, initiatives on human capital development allowed to benefit the students. That's a huge benefit to the students.
Very, very interesting. Now, our time is really not on our side. Muda wetu umeisha. I'll give you a minute to give us a closing remark and what advice you'd give to the youths in the country.
All right. Well, I appreciate you for that conversation, and it was insightful. For the young people, I just want to say one word, because the potential you have is amazing. Opportunities are available everywhere. Partners who are willing to work with you, help you, mentor you, are all over around us. And of course, here in Kenyatta University, you will get all kinds of partners that can work alongside with you. So my challenge to you is that step up. Don't be a victim of any situation, including your background or your financial status. You can lead when you show up. So mine is show up, step into the opportunities that are made available. Don't feel marginalized. Don't feel that your opinion, your strength, and your level of education doesn't matter or count. It matters. Just plug into the opportunities that are globally available. And here at GPP, and of course in Kenyatta University, specifically the Global Tourism Resilience Department is an amazing place where we can always get all this information of the global partners that are really partnering. And I just want to conclude by sharing. This is a book, the 51 Powerful Ps for public speaking. If you have a business, you're working in any given particular company, you have a brand, listen to me. Dr. Crystal has written this particular book. It's one of the books that actually is used by the eyes. And it is an amazing, amazing book that I would recommend. I know it is in Amazon, but I recommend that every one of us can share into it. Otherwise, thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Yep.
Now, our viewer back at home, I told you this was going to be insightful, and as you have seen, it is very important for you to set your pace and join these initiatives. There are 7 of them at Kenyatta Universities, and you need to choose one of them to be part of it. The one that suits you, the one that aligns with your career. You can always visit our pages, that is Kenyatta University, and you will find all this information there. And before we take a short break, let me take a quick look at the feedback on social media. Adelaide Momanyi says, congratulations team. Elishiba Brown says, good job. We are watching from Nairobi, Kenya. And also Eunice Washuka says, congratulations Dan and Jackie. That is the guests that were in studio before Daktari you came in. Now that is it on the launch this morning. Coming up next is a newspaper review, and I hope you stay with us until that time. Let's get on the break.
For every student to undertake the 6-week program in their final year to support them in areas of people's skills, leadership skills, really preparing them further for the world of work or for the world of engagement as if they want to do self-employment, you know. So this program prepares them for that. And so as we launch the Strategic Human Capital Initiative for East Africa today, Madam CES, we reaffirm our dedication to being at the forefront of education that is responsive, inclusive, and transformative in line with our vision and mission. We acknowledge that the success of this initiative will be driven by our collective effort, by academia fostering knowledge, industry providing practical insights, and policymakers creating enabling environment for young professionals to thrive. And we are so pleased, Madam CES, that at that level of policy, you accepted our invitation to come and launch this, because that gives us great assurance that at that level, we are covered. And as I conclude, I extend my gratitude to all partners and stakeholders who have made this initiative a reality today. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for all your efforts. Thank you for the resources that you have committed. And most of all, thank you for the passion that has caused you to bring birth to this initiative. And we know that it's going to create impact. Thank you for your support. And may we remain committed to empowering the next generation of leaders. I want to say that we have a responsibility of investing our lives in meaningful initiatives that impact generations to come and assures them of a better life in future, and also helps us leave a very strong legacy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular pleasure to invite our chief guest, Honorable Rebecca Meano, the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, to deliver the keynote address. Can we all be upstanding, please?
Always good to stand and stretch after sitting for a long time, and we may have our seats. The Vice Chancellor, Kenyatta University, Professor Washeke Wanjohi, the Deputy VC, Research, Innovation, and Outreach, Professor Caroline, members of Kenyatta University Management present, Dr. Esther Munyiri, my director in the center that I chair, Andy Monet, and all the team leaders of the various initiatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, including our media, I am truly delighted to be gathered here today at Kenyatta University, the university of many accolades in recent times, and a university that I am visiting for the second time in a span of a few months. And this is really momentous as we launch. Oh, why didn't Kenyatta University clap when I said that it is a university of accolades in recent times? Thank you so much. And this is momentous as we launch the strategic initiatives, human capital initiatives for Eastern Africa. And these initiatives, spearheaded by the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, East Africa, here at Kenyatta University, and this is also together in collaboration with esteemed partners, they mark a defining moment in shaping the future of our region's tourism and hospitality workforce, as well as other sectors. So thank you, Professor, and the team for inviting me. And if you continue inviting me, I'll be a serial visitor in this university. And this is because tourism remains one of the most dynamic and significant economic sectors in our region. It provides millions of jobs, it fosters cultural exchange, and generates revenue that drives economic transformation. However, for the sector to continue thriving, we must equip our young people with the skills, knowledge, and opportunities they need to serve as the next generation of leaders in tourism. This launch, therefore, marks a major step in transforming Eastern Africa's workforce in the hospitality sector and beyond. As chairperson of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, East Africa, I am proud to lead initiatives that will equip our youth with critical skills, global exposure, and industry experience. At the heart of these efforts is the Top Talent Initiative, which will provide digital employment opportunities to the Kenyan youths, with the ultimate plan being to connect Eastern Africa's youth with remote work opportunities in companies in the US. This program will expand the professional networks of young persons and also provide them with valuable global experience. It will prepare them for the evolving demands of the industry and more. Equally transformative is the East Africa Future Leaders Challenge, a platform designed to nurture leadership, innovation, and career development. I am truly honored to serve as its patron. As its mission aligns with my dedication to youth empowerment, I will give it my all, and it's also in line with conservation and sustainable development. The program's commendable efforts to prepare future leaders is set to positively impact the beneficiaries, immediate communities, and even beyond. Aside from that, we are facilitating international internships, promoting professional mobility, offering specialized aviation and tourism training. And this fosters strategic thinking and strengthens destination marketing. By investing in initiatives like Top Talent and the Future
Welcome back. Now, this is very interesting. We have had discussions on initiatives that favor the youth in terms of business, and now we are about to talk about the state of our nation, and that is on newspaper review. And this morning in studio, I am joined by Ojwang Mariam and Collins Mawira, who is a youth leader in Youth Chair in Meru County. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. So good to have you gentlemen on board this morning. I'll begin with Juang. How are you feeling this morning?
Medical fiti. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to the team for this opportunity. We're moving on swiftly napenda sana. As KUTV Rise today, we've been able to bag 2 nominations in the KUSA Awards 2025. It will happen on 14th. That 14th, hata art and culture isiposhinda, kuna Biashara Tuesday ya kushinda. Ikishindikana Sunday unarushia watu wa news. It means we are doing a good job. KUTV Rise today having 2 shows on the same platform competing for excellence and greatness. It means tunafanya kazi mzuri and I'm proud to be part of that. Thank you so much our fans. Nyinyi ndio mnatuwekaga hapa hivi. Our producer Ryan Gure kila time nikijua kuhost, nikijifunza kuhost alikuwa ananiambia hata kama ni mtu mmoja unaongelesha, that person matters. We've moved from talking to one person to winning awards to where we are today to creating a family ya KUTV Rise today. So I'm glad to be part of the team. I'm glad to be here leo asubuhi na kucelebrate kina mama. Magnificent duo.
Very interesting. We are in the celebration mode of women and seeing this is very interesting. Now Collins, how are you feeling this morning? Are you happy with the state of our nation?
Okay, about the state of the nation, I'm a 50-50, depending on what the government is doing. They are doing some things right, they are doing others wrong. But at the end of the day, we survive as Kenyans because we can't go always in the streets. But otherwise, I'm good. I'm happy at least at the rent. I'm happy to be here in KUTV. It's long since I was here. I feel happy. Biashara Tuesday. I'm an economic and statistician, so I feel nice. Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Welcome back. Now let's get into what brought us this morning and what is keeping our viewers on screen this morning. Now, we begin with the Business Daily. RBA to block under 50s from pension savings, that is Retirement Benefits Authority, is pushing to stop workers from accessing their pension savings before attaining age 50 through proposed changes that are aimed at helping contributors build a decent retirement nest egg. This is something that, you know, let us begin this on this note. Have you ever got into an office and then you find someone who is very old and then very rude, and then you're like, see you go for retirement. Why are you angry for no reason? Why are you angry for no reason? And I came to realize that most of these people don't go for retirement when the right age comes, because their retirement benefit is so thin that haiwezi hata tosha kununua dawa zake, because you know at that age akona pressure, akona diabetes, so kuna dawa, kuna food, haitoshi hata kulipa any of that. Most of them stay in employment past the retirement age until to the point where they're no longer productive. So this is something that for me, I think it's a good move. Let me begin with you, Collins.
Yes.
How do you feel about this proposal?
Okay, the proposal about kunyima watu pesa, it's hard sometimes. Unapatanga at the end of the day, Kenya kuretire ni kama utaretire tu ukikufa. The government will try just to limit you in every way just to work. So it happens, if you are in employment, at least save for yourself, just invest somewhere, because at the end of the day, when you see that the government will bring these the funds to you at the end of retirement, they will just pressure you. They will just keep pressuring you, so that maybe you go back to work, or you just retire na wewe uende upotele. But in Kenya as well, they try to limit the youths in work. So you find like wasn't ndio bado tu wana work. So the pension, just limiting them, it might be a way of telling people just retire. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Ojuang, what do you feel about this proposal?
You know, in developed countries, retirement shouldn't really or isn't really about age. Unaweza retire ukiwa 20. Na useme from now on, mimi nimeretire, maybe from public service, I want to live a private life. You can retire hadi ukiwa 30. Si lazima uzeeke ndio retire. Kuretire is an issue of nataka sasa ni relax. I've done my part, imetosheka. Do you know if today you are lucky enough to be a president of this country, at the age you are in as a Gen Z, you go for 2 terms, we'll demand you to retire. Hata kama by the time unafika 35 ndo wewe kijana ndo unatoka in your 2 terms, you will still go home. what they are doing kusema lazima mtu afikishe past 50 ndio apate pesa zake za retirement za retirement ni wizi. Juu mimi nikisave, si save ndio wewe, mimi nikupee pesa zangu. Si kila mtu ukatwa hiyo pesa ukatwa, zinakatwa kwa NSSF, zinaenda so that pension yako ikue. Si kati ndio wewe udecide the right time for mimi kulipwa. Ni at any given point mimi nimesema nimeretire guys, I'm done. Mwanze kuniekea pension yangu. What if ni retire at 35, mkose kunipea pesa zangu, mnangojea nifike 50, I die at 45? That is bad business. Kama hawawezi kukupea pesa zako za retirement time yenye unahitaji hizo za RBA, then there is no need wewe kuweka pesa NSSF. Weka pesa kwa bank ama kwa sako, mahali ukimaliza retire unawaambia haya, si nimekuwa nikiwapea pesa zangu, nipatieni. Hiyo ni scam ya wizi. Tunafaa as a country to grow, tutoke from one level ya kufikiria kama hiyo ya venye tutanyanyasa wazee ama venye tunangojea watu wazeeke ndio wanyanyaswe. The reason they are doing that ni juu wanajua hata pesa za inua jamii hazifikiagi hao wazee. So wanangoja uzeeke kabisa ndo hadi ushindwe kufuatiliwa. The more unazeeka, the more una energy ya kufuatilia. But mbona tuibie wa Kenya? Si mtu apewe pesa zake time yenye amedecide kuretire. What guarantees me that nita retire at 70? What if I want to retire at 40? Pesa zangu ni ngoje kwa nini? Na ni zangu, si za mtu. RBS hazikuwagi pesa za serikali. It's not the same as pesa za inua jamii for the elderly, PWD and women. No, ni share ya pesa zako. Pewa time unahitaji, si time wao wanataka kukupea.
So to you, ini wins is just a form of
wizi.
So what of this situation? What of this situation where you're now old, ulisema mimi na retire at 40. You know at 40 you can still work. But now you are at 60, you can't work, you don't have your pension ulishamaliza. What happens to such situations?
Okay, pension umesema pension ulimaliza? Si pension yako ushapewa, hiyo ndio haki yako. Whatever happens to you after that shouldn't be a government concern.
It should be, because remember you're becoming a burden to the government in one way or another, because it's either you're depending on someone, and that is increasing black tax, which is not having any economical value.
Hiyo shida yake ni hii. The solution, hiyo shida solution yake ni sisi vijana. We can't help hao wazee walishaenda, maybe mtu aliskwanda pesa zake zote. Saizi hatuwezi wasaidia. Ndio maana unajipata tuko kwa black tax. Na hii black tax, we the millennials are the last people wenye wanajua mambo ya black tax. Gen Z kushuka chini wanasema hapana, kila mtu except wenye walizaliwa wakiwa mapacha anafaa ajishughulikie. So wewe ukiwa kijana, unafaa unapanga maisha yako vizuri. Unafaa kuelewa that one day one time utazeeka. Plan your future today so that when you go for retire, you don't necessarily depend on your pension, your RBA or Retirement Beneficiary Authority. You use your investments. Watu kama mwenye aliweza kuaga mzee Kibor, aliwahi kuwa the chair wa men's conference. Hadi wa leo mali yake bado inapiganiwa na watoto wake more than 25 na bibi wake watatu wazee na mmoja mwenye ni kijana, as in a youth.
Wazee partners.
Yes, but bado tunaongelelea hapa kuhusu mzee mwingine mwenye amekuwa old and frail. First things first, old and frail and you're not able to work. Ukiwa 30 na umeshindwa kuwork, maybe you are incapacitated, unafaa unaondoka, mwingine afanye kazi, ndio hii kazi ifanyike. Why should we sacrifice wewe uendelee kukaa hapo una laze around, kazi ifanyiki, systems zinaanguka, yetu unaweza enda utulie mwingine apate job. So wewe unafaa uondoke kwanza, wengine wafanye kazi. Kama ni kujipanga, ujajipanga na umepewa pension yako, now deal with your family from there on. Because you can't deal with the government. How will you deal with the government yenye the head of state saizi hata ana concentrate na makanisa? Kasi kanisa uko nayo saizi hataki kusikia stories zako. Nani mwingine atapea shida zake? Is it inua jamii? Inua jamii inafaa impe pesa. It's 3K per month. Itamsaidia wapi mzee amezoea pesa mingi sana? Tujipange ndio hata sisi tukifika kuwa wazee atutalilia watoto wetu na watoto wa watoto wetu, tusaidieni tuliwaza.
Okay. That is very well put. Watu wajipange. tusitegemee RBA. Now on to another story on taxation. Taxes from beer, fuel, car, cosmetic sales flat in half a year. Now this is according to a report released by the Treasury that easy industries are pombe na urembo and the car business, their taxes have maintained, hazijapanda, hazijashuka, meaning they've maintained their sales despite having COVID-19, despite watu kulia sana. The economy is tough. This is, the report says that Kenya Revenue Authority collected 141.35 billion Kenyan shillings from excess duty in the review period, a paltry 1.11% rise over 139.8 billion in the prior year. So do you think this is a yes for people doing that business, like watu tuanze kuelekeza biashara zetu huko, because kuna watu wanahama Kenya right now saying the taxation is high and the businesses are closing, but at the same time there are others which are thriving. Collins.
Okay, we can't flock over everyone kwa business za pombe, cosmetology na gari business. So unapatanga what we can just do ni just be broad. Juu pombe nayo watu watapiga sherehe, cosmetology watu watapaka makeup, magari watu watanunua. But it comes to a point whereby unapata watu wana concentrate more much on luxury. Wanasahau pia hizi vitu zingine zina happen. Juu mtu kama tuseme for example in Githurai, mtu anauza mahindi and stuff, they are so much concentrated on that business and they earn a living there. Lakini ukipata hii ingine taxation about the alcohol, these are luxury things. So I think inafaa ku maintain, but still Wakenya tunapenda sherehe. So at the end of the day, sherehe hutoi limit. Hata wakipandisha aje, at the end of the day tutapiga sherehe. So it's upon us, we Kenyans, we just concentrate on just balancing the economy. Na your government is concentrate sana na overtaxation. Juu unapata like unatax hata mtu mwenye hayuko kwa business yenye ina make do. For example, unapata mtu ameweka kibanda lakini wewe kanju unaenda kumfungia eti ndiye alipe tax. Lakini mtu akona pombe anakuja na kuhonga lakini wewe uone hiyo. So it's upon us tujaribu as a government tujaribu kutuhold mkono na tujaribu kunini. Si lazima ikuwe tax ikuwe raised. It can just maintain, but we just balance everything.
Yeah. Very interesting. We can maintain the taxes, si lazima waongeze. We can have good businesses with the standardized taxes. What do you think about the same, John?
There is nothing wrong with the taxes kukua flat. In fact, zinafaa zishuke. Zikishuka, business people wanakuwa encouraged kuingia into that business. Because at the end of the day, people want to do business where the conditions and the environment is favorable to them. But tunafaa tuangalie what is not written kwa business daily. Narratives. Gava always huandika hizi vitu for narratives, kusukuma narrative, kutest waters. Sahi, CS John Mbadi mwenye anaongelea kuhusu hizo taxes, the rate kukua flat. Ni juu deep down kuna mahali anataka aongeze. Umeshika? He is from the same office yenye ilisema juzi that Kenya is not able to fund now, ama inalemewa kufund university education. Hiyo inamaanisha aje? As anapanga finance bill 2025, anapanga kupunguza capitation ya university, anapanga kuongeza stick-ons, anapanga kuongeza lipstick, wanaume mtaumia, anapanga kuongeza mafuta ya gari. Tough times for you girls. Kupelekwa date itakuwa ngumu sana, because kupelekwa date tunahitaji kwanza tuwashughulikie cosmetics. Hizo ni pesa, wanaongeza tax. Wakiongeza tax, hizi bidhaa zitaongezeka bei. Kama niko na gari, nahitaji kuweka hii gari mafuta ndo nikutoe from point A, which is mostly Roysambu, Mirema, to point B, which is tujui ni gani, yenye huko nako tukifika pombe itaongezewa nini. So they are being strategic, because hawataongeza sana mambo ya wheat, mambo ya maziwa, mambo ya sukari, of which hadi leo bado ukiendelea hapo hivyo kusoma utasikia sukari imepanda na ngovu. Ngovu ni pesa mingi sana. So ni plan tu za kujua ni nini tutaongeza, ni nini kinaujua wanasema kule kwa newspaper review ndo tupunguze hiyo ama tufanye hii nyingine. They are testing waters with us.
Now still on the same, still on business mood. This is the Standard. The Standard on page 29, it says how Trump's tariffs wars might hurt Kenyan shilling and trade. And on the report by Business Daily, it says that annual remittance from US in 2014, which averaged at 26 million every month. So at the moment, the remittances in the country is expected to be affected. I had a figure here, but apparently I've lost it. Data shows that in January 2025, more than 30 billion shillings was sent back home. But with the new tariffs and the executive orders that are being signed, we understand that most foreigners who are in the States are working in agricultural fields or farms. Most of them are others are in business. And right now, with the executive orders signed, most of them don't go to work. Most of them hide because they don't want to be noticed or deported home. So this is, it is something that we're expecting it to affect our country. And remittances in our country is among the contributors to our GDP. So in your opinion, Collins, how do you think the tariff wars is hurting or might hurt the Kenyan shilling and trade?
Okay. Yeah, I think when it comes to about worldwide economics and business, sometimes it's a matter of geopolitics. Okay, a country does what benefits its people most. So Trump, whatever Trump did maybe to cut the aids to African countries, it's upon us, we African countries now, we just be prudent, just be self-dependent. Because wezi niambia, Kenya hii tax tunaokota, haiwezi fanya vitu mingi sana kwa hii country. So cutting off these, all the remittances and stuff, is just a waking up call. You guys, just wake up, just use your money well. Juu ukienda kwa geopolitics, tuseme for example is about importation and exportation. As Kenyans, we should start exporting more. Juu Kenya nayo tuna import vitu mingi, si sukari, si nini. Ukiingililia ka kampani ya sugar, inatumua vibaya, just for benefiting. So it's upon us, we sit down as government, our government sits down, na ijaribu kuficha hizi loopholes. At the end of the day, I believe we might be benefiting in these aids, but at the end of the day, wezi niambia ati hatuna hiyo pesa ya kujisupport. Okay, unaangalianga, unapata like, let me give an example. In refugees and maybe these HIV donation and stuff. Wezi niambia hatuna hizo pesa za kununua hizo vitu. Wezi niambia Kenya tumefika mahali like our GDP is so dependent on easy funds, lakini haiko dependent on our taxes. Na taxes tunatoa daily. So it's upon us, tukae chini, tujipange kwa businesses. Maybe in Kenya, Kenyans are very hardworking. In Congo has many resources. Zenye hata hazitumikangi tu zina exportiwa kwenda huko majuu as raw materials. Wanarudi kuuziwa kama zikuwa refined zote. So, wacha tu tujitume. At the end of the day, hiyo ndio itatusaidia. Yeah.
And this is something that is really going to affect our GDP because, not our GDP, our GDP, because at the moment as we speak, our spending is 70% more than what we collect. So it is something that is interesting to look at. Ojuang, from where you sit, how do you think these policies are going to affect us as a country?
Two things. I think tumeogopa sana the Trump statement on anatoa fundings to African countries. The two things, kitu cha kwanza, Mbadi's math doesn't add up. Kolo amesema tuko na pesa, it's a wake up call, sisi tujipange so that mwenye ako hapo treasury ajue now that US wamecut funding hapa hivi, with the resources tuko nazo, tukigawa hapa kwa health, tugawe hapa kwa education, tugawe hapa kwa Ministry of Youth and Sports, tutabaki na nini? Resources tuko nazo, but yeye hesabu zake haziwezi add up juu anataka angalie tu vile tutafinya hawa Kenya aje without them feeling like sisi ndio tunawafinya. Let's blame it on President Trump from US. Mwenye hata yeye kwenye yako anapanga nchi yake. But again, there is hope. If US is our God, gava imefanya US kuwa our god. After 90 days, I'm giving you this prediction. It's not a must Trump atoke. Juu hata akitoka, US is not the only country that can fund us. On page 19 ya financial standard, mtu akipata chance asome the standard financial standard, iko na mingi sana. China Africa pledge amid the West aid stance. Inasema kwamba Chinese wanatuambia ni ajeni Kenya. You will never walk alone. China assures Africa as the West retreats. The West tunaongelea US kutoka. By the time wanatoka 90 days waseme sisi tumetoka. Tunaenda kwa wengine kama lazima tusaidiwe by kupewa. But tukienda kwa hao wengine kusaidiwa kupewa, tukue tumelana lesson within these 90 days zenye zimepitia hapo hivyo. That Kenyans wamekuwa at standstill. Yet we are a sovereign country. Yet we are a republic. Pesa zetu tunafaa tunajisaidia sisi wenyewe. But US wakienda policies zao azimati sana, we can shift to other places. Na tuangalie venye hizo bilateral ties zitatusaidia.
And talking of China, China has really embraced self-sufficiency. Right now they are fueling their funds to the tech industry because they say that after the US increased the tariffs in the country, they're now focusing on building themselves as an individual country.
Kenya should do the same.
Yeah, it's a very good fight. Yes, Collins?
There's one thing that affects Kenyans most, especially when it comes to these finances and the financial years. Hakuna venye utaniambia mmetengeneza budget iko more than what you collect taxes. This will make you you go borrow. Na the moment una increase madeni, Kenyans it has that luxury whereby tutalipa. Maybe this president, that president atakuja alipe. But it is affecting our GDP. The moment Trump amekata hii, it's there time John Bundy a change the budgeting, it just averages what Kenyans collect as taxes. That will just help us balance the GDP. Juu Kenyans, whatever we do, we are an agriculturalist countries. We don't have resources na ni kujituma ya watu. So so dependent on this, the west or the east, they will just manipulate us. And that what happens. Wezi niambia China ati wakikuja Kenya, watakuja for free. Ama watawapea pesa for free. It will never happen. So it's upon us. The more tunajituma, I think the government takes advantage of us. Juu wezi niambia, budget ni iko 4 billion ama 4 trillion, alafu mnaokota tax ya 2 trillion. It never happens that way. The income must balance. Whatever you earn, you must save, and consumption must be still in that income. Hakuna venye utaniambia consumption itakuwa more than income, and that what happens. And it will continue killing us. Juu hata investments government inafanya vitu unnecessary that cannot build us. China is concentrating on the tech. In Kenya, technology, unatengeneza gari maybe inaweza kuwa worth, unaambiwa kuna kitu unafanya, unapewa kitu kidogo, unakanyagia. So that was affecting us. But at the end of the day, hope as we rise at the end of the day, we'll come up with an idea where we elect leaders who will help us maneuver in this economy.
And I strongly believe that our leaders are the problem because Kenyans are very hardworking, if you ask me. If ukienda anywhere, utapata tu njoroge. Uende China, utapata njoroge. Anywhere you go, you'll find a Kenyan who is really making it out there. And that is just to show you that as Kenyans, we are very hardworking and we need the government to abolish or to do away with budgeted corruption, to do away with unnecessary spendings. That will help us. Now moving on, still on that Daily Nation, we have civil servants want rejected share deal. Now this is another story on budgeted corruption. Civil servants have warned of a strike beginning March 18th if the government fails to address their grievances on the new medical scheme run by Social Health Authority, saying they are being forced to fundraise to meet their medical needs because the state-run scheme is not working. And I have said this more than once. There's a time I was at Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital. Yes, and I was told that, your cover cannot work. We can only pay for the radiography services, that is a CT scan, ultrasound. That's the only thing that it can pay for, and a bed. But for outpatients, it's not working. For other things, it's not working. You need to get the money from your pocket. Unless your you're a civil servant under permanent and pensionable terms with the government, that is when it can work, but it will not cater for everything. So the civil servants at the moment, they have been rejecting, and now they're saying that musipofanya something about it, tunaenda kwa streets. Yes, March 18th.
So now, the civil servants wanasema March 18th ndio wao wana march.
March 18th ndio wana march to the streets. Now Collins, this is something that we have been saying. SHA is not working. Salasi anasema, President acha mimi nikwambie. SHA work, SHA ifanye kazi. President anasema sasa acha mimi nikwambie. SHA itafanya kazi. What do you think about this push and pull between the civil servants and the government?
Okay, hata wakienda streets, what will change? I believe in Kenya, the probability of something changing, as long as we have such kind of a government, it's hard. I remember, I was young, wakati wa Kibaki, dispensaries zilikuwa zina work, na ulikuwa unapewa dawa free. Sasa sahi, what has changed, hiyo pesa yenye tulikuwa tunapewa dawa free kwa dispensaries na kwenda hospitali, nini nimechange, nini? Like, nini ime withdrawiwa, ndio, ipotee. Taxes zimebaki the same, bado zina increase, but ukipata SHA watu wanaambiwa watoe pesa na hakuna kitu ina work. It's just a scam yenye imetengenezwa, maybe NHIF never worked, hii nyingine imeletwa. But I believe the government, mbona msirudishe ile system yenye kulikuwa na dispensaries na ukienda hospitali unalipa tu ya kadi. I think it will work better. Juu hii pesa mnaitisha watu at the end of the day. Hata mtu anaweza jisevia na aende hospitali. Hii pesa mnasemanga mnaongeza mtu. Hiyo ni pesa mngeweka dawa kwa hospitali. Unaangalia unaenda hospitali watu wanashare vitanda. So, hii pesa mnapata, but hata kutengeneza kitanda ni shida. It doesn't make sense either way. So for civil servants na government, itabaki kuwa just push and pull. And until the end of the day, we civil servants, hata ukifika kwa election, utakuja mtu maybe leader wenyu anunuliwe kiasi, and hiyo pesa ipotele. So I think it's their time at least, hata ukiweza kuboycott SHA, juu kama mimi siko SHA, juu hainisaidii. Hata nikigonjeka at the end of the day, sometimes unasemanga God for us all. Juu sometimes utafeed msee, umfeed na hii pesa yako, ukifika hospitali unaambiwa wewe sijui SHA yako imekaa aje, sijui shisho. Vitu kaa hizo. So it's upon us Kenyans. You just look for other plans. We can't all be dependent on the government.
John, Collins anasema it's high time we look for a way to boycott SHA. What do you think?
Ukweli. First of all, tunafaa to sue NHIF. Kwa sababu gani? Unasikia vile yeye anasema hayuko concerned na SHA or anything like that. I'm in the same place. Siko concerned na SHA. Time watu walikuwa wanaambiwa go register for SHA, mimi niliwaambia asha. I even called my friends na hata wao wanasema hatutaki SHA. But even today I get messages from Social Health Authority asking me to remit my share of funds. Why? And I'm in a democratic country whereby I can do what I want. See, health ni yangu hii tunaongelelea. Ama nafanya kazi ndio nichange wewe uende hosi. It's not the same as housing levy yenye nachanga ndio wewe ujengewe nyumba. SHA inafaa inisaidie mimi. Na kama haiwezi nisaidia, itanisaidia tu picha. Haitanisaidia mahali vile nitapata matibabu kwa hospitali. I can as well niachane nayo, niingie Jubilee, niingie UAP, niingie Equity Afya. Juu najua hapo hivyo nitasaidika. It's about me. Health cover is about me and my children. Utapata most of haina spouse pale. Kama wewe mtoto ukifika 18 years unaambia haya, toka sasa kwa miguu ya baba, chukua yako. But the government wao wanataka wewe uendelee kuninisha. Tunafaa sote tukatae kama hautaki utaki. If you are a civil servant and SHA is not helping you and you're saying you'll march on 18th, tokea. Kata. My friend anaongea kuhusu we will change nothing. But I think we've changed a lot since when people got woke enough to realize that on streets you can be listened. Finance Bill 2024, it's not there. A parliament, a whole cabinet went home because of people going to the streets. Juzi, we have 10 people who are injured huko Roysambu because watu wako kwa streets. if hatuwezi saidika kwa streets na hatuwezi saidika kwa bunge, hatuwezi saidika kwa judiciary, because even the chief justice saizi analia hana justice, yeye mwenyewe anataka kungolewa. Where else as a country will we get help? Because it's not in the US. Wao hata wanatutolea usaidizi. It's not in Russia. Wao wako na ngori zao huko na zingine zenye wanataka kudeal nazo huko Burkina Faso. It's us. Ikifika mahali mimi sisaidiki, I can only get that help through the streets. Sometimes I think this government inaelewa maandamano sana kuliko the policy. That's why wanashika baba, wanamweka mfuko. Saizi wanafanya tour Nairobi. Wanafanya hiyo tour Nairobi when some constituencies don't have any project. I have the PDF of the tour ya Nairobi. Wafanye cheap PR in Roysambu. President Ruto atapitia ati atasimama utalii ndo aingie Mathare ya Hepe. Hawezi ingia Roysambu tena. Ukiangalia on the projects zenye wata launch in Roysambu hakuna. In other constituencies zenye hao MPs hawako in line na president hakuna. Sisi ndio tunaumia. Sio huyo mbunge mwenye amekataa kufuata Ruto. Sisi watu wa Roysambu ndio tunaumia. So tutafanya aje ndio tusaidike? Sini streets tutaenda kama itajika tuende streets.
It's quite unfortunate because our leaders at the moment, you know, what is affecting us is not affecting them. Let's talk about education funding. Their kids go to international schools and study abroad. Let's talk about health. They don't use SHA. They have other private insurance funds that they're having. Let's talk about transport. These guys are not affected with fuel prices and everything because they have fuel pass by the government. Let's talk about the cost of living. Every meeting they're having is budgeted. They have allowances. They have pesa ya maziwa mamilioni in the offices. They have house allowances. They have travel allowances. They have all these allowances. So when you're saying that tunateseka as a country, this is something that to them they are not understanding. Wanashanga, what are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? And
how leaders. Shida ya hii nchi ni sisi. A leader or a representative, a leader is a representative of the people that elected them. Sisi ndio tunaweka hawa viongozi kwa hizi positions za uongozi. Sisi ndio tuko na power ya kuwatoa. Sisi wenyewe as wanapeleka watoto wao huko nje kusoma. Sisi tulikuwa wapi? Tunafaa tunachagua mtu, unajua chagua huyu unajua atakusaidia. Asipo kukusaidia mtoe, si lazima ungoje 5 years. We have provisions za kutoa mtu kwa ofisi, junior ofisi. The same way leo KU anaweza kuambia we've terminated your contract. It's the same way you can tell your MP we have terminated your contract. And you seek help by recalling through the IEBC. Shida ni sisi. Tuache kulia wamepeleka watoto wao wapi. It's good. Kwani wewe huwezi furahia mtoto wako akipelekwa shule ya nje? But if you're doing that using my money, then shida ni mimi.
Okay, very interesting. Now let's get a very short comment from Collins.
Alafu another thing, in Kenyan politics they use manipulation 101. Utapata best yako mlikuwa na yeye kidogo amekoa zinaitangwa za cabbage. Amekoa za cabbage, ameanza kuruka. Okay, anasema hata lala njaa. But what I believe at the end of the day in Kenya, the moment the people wameshikana, it will be more effective than the government itself ikishikana na watu. This manipulation was working in Moi era. Ndio ulikuwa unapata Moi, alafu walikuwa na social media. Lakini currently tuko na social media, unaweza tengeneza hata pseudo account na ulime government venye unataka. So it's upon us to shikane na tujue what we can change as leaders. Ndio pia hapa in campus politics pia unapatanga even the students who are said they are smart, they are being manipulated. So it's upon us, not it be in student governing councils or the national politics. If you want to change something, just be bold, stand with your decision, be truthful, be honest, and avoid this manipulation. Utapigwa, utafanyiwa everything, but at the end of the day, they will come to see sense in you. Hiyo ndio utatusaidia tu hapa Kenya. Tukisema, at the end of the day, 2027 iko karibu. Hizi politics za kuzunguka zimeanza. You have seen the game. I see it ni kitu mpya. Hii mambo ya Laila kufanya handshake and stuff si kitu mpya. But at the end of the day, usiletewe 200 2027 and you just see the person as a saint. No. Just stand with your decision. If you want to change this country, stand with your decision. Just that.
Okay, and also, don't be manipulated by religion. Now let's shift to the biggest headline. We have, this one I will give each of you at most 2 minutes. We are having the magnificent duo, finally Standard having a positive headline. And I'll just read a quick back and forth between leaders who are supporting the duo. That is Auditor General Nancy Gishungu and Control of Budget Margaret Nyakongo, who have remained unwavering public watchdogs. Now, Richard Onyonka says, these two women are my heroes. They're the last line of defense in this country. If you look at the issues they are raising, no man can deal with them. And as he says that, Kimani Chungwa says, the Office of Control of Budget needs to style up. County governments are suffering. Speak to any governor. They will tell you they have to bribe officers in that office to get their expenditures approved. And Edwin Sifuna says, Madam Gadungu, you are now the person standing on guard for the resources of this country. We who are believers in transparency and proper utilization of funds in this country are with you. And then Junet says, watu wa kupewa cabbage, to every approval you must part with something. Governors are saying it everywhere, that for us to get approval from the COB, Control of Budget, that is office, we must give some money. And then the push and pull goes on, and they say that for this audit report to be approved, it has to be approved by the parliament, the same parliament that is accused of corruption. So let's begin with you, Collins.
Yes.
What do you think about this magnificent duo and their impact and what they're doing currently in the country?
I think these are the two sober minds we have in the country as long as finances are concerned. Jukipata, the strength of a woman. These ladies are bold enough. So I think for these leaders just criticizing them, mtu anaendanga penye anashiba. So ukipata like Kimani Ichung'wah anajaribu kujiprotect side yenye yako. And the others, the likes of Sifuna, at least Sifuna has been always sober, criticizing the government and saying the truth. So for these ladies, I believe they can continue the same work. It's upon us now, we Kenyans, we support them. For example, this AU bid, they used, I think, over 584 million. Hiyo pesa yote ni ya nini surely? I think someone, when you are vying, it shouldn't come from the treasury. But ukienda parliament, some approvals and some budget things are just nonsense. So it's upon us as Kenyans, these ladies, we just support them. We just give them the hard hand of support. In Kenya sahi, at least kumeacha hizo extrajudicial killings. I'm sure ungekuwa ni sometimes back hapo ungekuwa washapotea ama washotolewa kwa government. If you don't support the idea of the government to become as bad as the fellow Kenyans who are complaining about it.
You become the enemy of the government.
You become the enemy. And now, I think now it's the time we just say the enemy of my enemy is my friend. These people are the enemy of the government because they are saying the truth. And we are the enemy of the government because we are criticizing it. Now I think we should join hands together and just force the issue to happen. We can go on the streets, but these streets, if this government hears with us going on the streets, we can go there. But at the end of the day, si tuamke tena, we just elect the same leaders. Juu amekuja sasa ukaanza kusell another ideology. Juu mara 2022 ilikuwa hustler. But hiyo hustler haiku work out. Juu sahi if ni hustler, sahi pesa mfukoni hatuna. Hata eri wenye mwenye wameshika. Sahi wameshikana wote kulikuwa na 6,000. Maybe they can come with an idea where we can get the 6,000 as Kenyans. At least itakuwa budget 34 na itapelekwa huko ishughulikiwe.
Very interesting. As enemies we should unite. Now Ojwang, what do you think about this magnificent duo?
Nimesikia Collins akisema 6K ikuje now that baba ako kwa serikali chungwa limetoshea kwa wheelbarrow. But kwa NADCO report 10 key factors. Uliona mahali wakiongelelea vijana vile watapata 6,000?
Nothing.
That is a tall order. Kitu cha kwanza. Congratulations to Auditor General Nancy Gathongo and Controller of Budget Margaret Nyakongo. You women are doing a great job. I have seen people like Faith Odhiambo from the LSK president, doing a good job. I am praying so hard that our Chief Justice mwenye bado ni mwanadada asimame kidete kama hawa wawili. These two are easy to remove than the CJ. The CJ hana kitu cha kuogopa. Yeye ni president wa the whole arm of a government. Why is she so afraid to a point that she's crying because of injustice badala ya tusaidie kupata justice? Hawa wabunge ambao wanapiga Margaret Nyakango na Nancy Gathongo, wote ni wenye wanahepa accountability and responsibilities zao. For example, if you are a governor na unasema ukitaka budget yako ikuwe approved na COB Margaret Nyakango, unaitishwa bribes. Ni governor yupi akona kesi kotini akiwa amepeleka Margaret Nyakango juu ya corruption? EACC iko hapo juu ya kunini vitu kama hizi. The leader of majority saa hii Kimani Ichung'wah ni wa kwanza kulia that counties zina paralyze juu COB ha approve budgets. Akikosa ku approve budgets anafaa aseme kwa nini haja approve budgets. If we una believe COB ha approve budgets kwa sababu ya kitu ambacho tunaita corruption, anataka bribes, you report to EACC. Ukishindwa na kureport to EACC, nearest police station wanakuambia kila wakati ripoti ufisadi. Tungekuwa na cases mingi sana, but haziko. Hawa ni watu tu wanataka walie wapate excuses za kukosa kufanya kazi. On the other hand, angalia watu wenye wanaongea good of the magnificent duo. They are calling them watchdogs. They are nothing else. They are watchdogs. Every Kenyan akona responsibility ya kuwa watchguard. You have a duty to make sure that you are implementing your constitution, because the constitution of Kenya, niseme hii na nisikuwe misquoted, is greater than any Bible. The constitution of Kenya is greater than any Quran you may think of or any religious book, because at the end of it all, Kenya is a no state religion. So hiyo constitution mwenye anaipigania na kuisimamia, huyo ni rafiki yetu. Huyu Gathongo ni rafiki yetu. Huyu Nyakango ni rafiki yetu. Sisi tunafaa tumprotect. Institutions zikishindwa kumprotect, tutatoka kwa hiyo barabara, tutawaprotectia huko hivyo. Until vitu zikuwe aligned hii nchi. 10 years from now, saizi tunalia tu hivi. Hawa hawatakuwa, sisi ndio tutakuwa. It's our future that will be messed. Sisi kama vijana, can we please have a wake up call? Hatujawahi kuwa involved sana na mambo ya US funding. Now that tuko involved, can we use that as a wake up call? Tupate ways za kujisustain, tuache kutumia kuomba kila wakati. That's my ending ya leo, a parting shot.
It's also something that the opposition needs to consider, because if they keep seeing these things happening and they don't do anything about it, they will inherit a bankrupt government, a bankrupt where the health system is not working, the education system is not working. They need not just to say, acha tuwapatie 2 years. In 2 years, so many things can happen. Because for the last 2 years, we have had so many departments crippled, so many businesses shut down. So it's not up to them to say that let's just give them 2 years. After 2 years, we will have them. The damage that can be done in 2 years is so great that we may or may not recover from. Now that is on the newspaper review this morning, and I'm glad that Collins, you joined us this morning. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. And Juang, also thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Just a quick feedback. We have Faith Njeri says, brilliant minds, keep up, young guys. You are our future. Very important. You guys are speaking of real issues that most of our leaders are afraid to speak of. And congratulations to, should I say all of us? All of us. Now that marks the end of KUTV Rise Today, Biashara Tuesday on this 11th of March 2024. I hope you keep interacting with us on our social media platforms, that is at KUTV News, KUTV Kenya, and for our news coverage, that is at KUTV News Kenya. And also for if you're having events on culture, on business that you may want it to be showcased here on television on our show, make sure that you contact us on our website and on all our social media platforms. Trust we will respond to them, and we will be there to have the coverage, and it will be right on air right here on the show. And also don't forget to vote for Kenyatta University Biashara Tuesday as the best show of the year in the KUS Awards, which we'll be celebrating on Friday this week. That marks the end of Biashara Tuesday this morning. See you next week.